my name is Rosie Pigu de Souza. So this is for the first time I'm making a video to upload on YouTube. And you might find it boring or torturous. I do not know. Somebody who is interested about the human brain, they might like it. So let me introduce myself first. I'm an MD. I did my MD in India, but I do not practice here. I do not have a license to practice in the US. When I was doing my MD, I presented a lot of seminars on human brain, and I loved it. And I think we know very little about human brain and the human mind. Since I was a child, I loved reading books, but reading them loud. Every time the teachers asked me to read in the class, I loved it. I loved giving speeches. I had audience then. Even now, that bad habit hasn't gone away. I love reading it loud. It makes everything stick to my head. Surprising, right? Loud. And today I'm going to read a book on quantum mind. I'm just reading, folks. And the name of the book is The Emperor's New Mind by Sir Roger Penrose. So, recently one of my physician friends, he spoke to me about quantum mind, and I found it quite interesting. So I started with this book, Sir Roger Penrose's book. I think you already know him. Everyone knows him. So reading alone is really boring for me. So I'm taking a video while reading this book, and like you can think anybody who is watching this video as the audience, right? So let's start with this introduction. Can a computer have a mind? I don't think so. Okay, let's start with this introduction. Over the past few decades, electronic computer technology has made enormous strides. Moreover, there can be little doubt that in the decades to follow, there will be further great advances in speed, capacity, and logical design. The computers of today may be made to seem as sluggish and primitive as the mechanical calculators of yesteryear now appear to us. So, this book was published, I think, I don't know, I have to look into it, maybe in the late 60s. Okay. Oh no, this book was published in its original form in 1989. It's the late 80s. Okay, folks. Let's go back to the introduction. So here it says the computers of today may be made to seem as sluggish and primitive as the mechanical calculators of yesteryear now appear to us. But it's 2023 and I don't think we are sluggish and primitive anymore. I mean, our computers. There's something almost frightening about the pace of development. Already, computers are able to perform numerous tasks that had previously been exclusive province of human thinking, with a speed and accuracy which far outstrip anything that a human being can achieve. Right. We have long been accustomed to machinery which easily outperforms us in physical ways. That causes us no distress. On the contrary, we are only too pleased to have devices which regularly propel us at great speeds across the ground, a good 5 times as fast as the swiftest human athlete, or that can dig holes or demolish unwanted structures at rates which would put teams of dozens of men to shame. Right? That's so true. We are even more delighted to have machines that can enable us physically to do things we have never been able to do before, that can lift us into the sky and deposit us at the other side of an ocean in a matter of hours. But folks, when we think about these developments, I also think about the pyramids of Egypt, how they were built. Do you think it was just human laborers? I don't know. Okay, where are we? We are even more delighted to have machines that can enable us physically to do things we have never been able to do before, that can lift us into the sky and deposit us at the other side of an ocean in a matter of hours. These achievements do not worry our pride, but to be able to think, that's the most important. The ability to think, that has been a very human prerogative. It has, after all, been that ability to think which, when translated to physical terms, has enabled us to transcend our physical limitations and which has seemed to set us above our fellow creatures in achievement. If machines can one day excel us in that one important quality in which we have believed ourselves to be superior, shall we not have then surrendered that unique superiority to our creations? I don't think so. The question of whether a mechanical device could ever be said to think, perhaps even to experience feelings, or to have a mind, is not really a new one. Do you think computers can have feelings? I'm not sure. But it has been given a new impetus, even an urgency, by the advent of modern computer technology. The question touches upon deep issues of philosophy. What does it mean to think or to feel? What is a mind? Do minds really exist? Assuming that they do, to what extent are minds functionally dependent upon the physical structures with which they are associated? Here, I think physical structures, by the physical structures, I think the brain. I was talking about the brain. Might minds be able to exist quite independently of such structures? Yeah. Mind and brain, independent of each other. Or are they simply the functioning of appropriate kinds of physical structure? In any case, is it necessary that the relevant structures be biological in nature? That's brains. Or might minds equally well be associated with pieces of electronic equipment? Don't know. Are minds subject to the laws of physics? What indeed are the laws of physics? These are among the issues I shall be attempting to address in this book. To ask for definitive answers to such grandiose questions would of course be a tall order. Such answers I cannot provide, nor can anyone else. Though some may try to impress us with their guesses. My own guesses will have important roles to play in what follows, but I shall try to be clear in distinguishing such speculation from hard scientific fact, and I shall try also to be clear about the reasons underlying my speculations. My main purpose here, however, is not so much to attempt to guess answers. It is rather to raise certain apparently new issues concerning the relation between the structure of physical law, the nature of mathematics and conscious thinking, and to present a viewpoint that I have not seen expressed before. Quite interesting. It is a viewpoint that I cannot adequately describe in a few words, and this is one reason for my desire to present things in a book of this length. Thank you, Sir Roger Penrose. But briefly and perhaps a little misleading, I can at least state that my point of view entails what it is our present lack of understanding of the fundamental laws of physics that prevents us from coming to grips with the concept of mind in physical or logical terms. By these, I do not mean that the laws will never be that well known. On the contrary, part of the aim of this work is to attempt to stimulate future research in directions which seem to be promising in this respect, and try to make certain fairly specific and apparently new suggestions about the place that mind might actually occupy within a development of the physics that we know. I should make clear that my point of view is an unconventional one among physicists and is consequently one which is unlikely to be adopted at present by computer scientists or physiologists. I'm a physiologist, okay, folks? Okay, let's continue. Most physicists claim that the fundamental laws operative at the scale of human brain are indeed all perfectly well known. It would of course not be disputed that there are still many gaps in our knowledge of physics generally. For example, we do not know the basic laws governing the mass values of the subatomic particles of nature, nor the strength of their interactions. This is too much to swallow. We do not know how to make quantum theory fully consistent with Einstein's special theory of relativity. Oh, Einstein. He is my favorite scientist. If today, now, if God grants me a wish, I will ask him, God, please make me as intelligent as Einstein. Give me some Einstein brain cells. Okay, let's continue. Let alone how to construct the quantum gravity theory, and that would make quantum theory consistent with its general theory of relativity. As a consequence of the latter, we do not understand the nature of space at the absurdly tiny scale of 1 divided by. I'm poor in maths, Fox. Let me count the zeros. Hmm. 1 divided by 1, followed by 20 zeros. What's that? Is it sextillion? I don't think so. Sextillion is 21 zeros. No idea. Of the dimension of the known fundamental particles, though at dimensions larger than that our knowledge is presumed adequate. We do not know whether the universe as a whole is finite or infinite in extent, either in space or in time, though such uncertainties would appear to have no bearing whatever on physics at the human scale. We do not understand the physics that must operate at the cores of black holes, nor at the Big Bang origin of the imagined. Oh, sorry, Fox. Big Bang origin of the universe itself. Yet all these issues seem as remote as one could imagine from the everyday scale, or a little smaller, that is relevant to the workings of a human brain. And remote they certainly are. Nevertheless, I shall argue that there is another vast unknown in our physical understanding at just such a level as could indeed be relevant to the operation of human thought and consciousness, in front of, or rather behind, our very noses. It is an unknown that it is not even recognized by the majority of physicists, as I shall try to explain. I shall further argue that quite remarkably, the black holes and Big Bang are considerations which actually do have a definite bearing on these issues. In what follows, I shall attempt to persuade the reader, like me, of the force of evidence underlying the viewpoint I am trying to put forward. But in order to understand this viewpoint, we shall have a lot of work to do. We shall need to journey through much strange territory, some of seemingly dubious relevance, and through many disparate fields of endeavor. We shall need to examine the structure, foundations, and puzzles of quantum theory, the basic features of both the special and general relativity of black holes, the Big Bang, and of the second law of thermodynamics, of Maxwell's theory of electromagnetic phenomena, as well as of the basics of Newtonian mechanics. That was a lot, right? Question of philosophy and psychology. I took I attended a few classes on psychology, 2 semesters only. Will have their clear role to play when it comes to attempting to understand the nature and function of consciousness. We shall, of course, have to have some glimpse of the actual neurophysiology of the brain, in addition to suggested computer models. We shall need some idea of the status of artificial intelligence. We shall need to know what a Turing machine is, and to understand the meaning of computability, of Gödel's theorem, and of complexity theory. We shall need also to delve into the foundation of mathematics, and even to question the very nature of physical reality. If at the end of it all the reader remains unpersuaded by the less conventional of the arguments that I am trying to express, it is at least my hope that she or he will come away with something of genuine value from this tortuous but I hope fascinating journey. I think going through this book will be a fascinating journey, at least for me, and I don't think it would be torturous. I don't think so. Anybody who is interested in the human brain and quantum mind, I don't think you should find it torturous. You should find it fascinating, just like me. Until next week, bye bye, folks.